Okay, so my name's Adeline. I'm the CEO and founder at INSPHERE Ltd. We're a Bristol-based company. We've been around since 2013, and we specialise in the fields of metrology and automation and industrial robotics. Our passion really is about improving manufacturing and how we can use data as part of that journey to improve manufacturing processes. We actually started out in the world of metrology, so measurement systems for manufacturing. And we spent many years evangelizing about how to use measurement and measurement data to improve processes rather than simply measure parts when they come off the end of the production line. The theory being that if you can measure the process, then you can actually do something about making sure that it creates the correct part to start with, rather than checking whether you've created the correct part after the event. And what became apparent over the years was actually a lot of the measurement technology available was lacking in its ability to measure manufacturing processes adequately. So one of the big examples we saw around this was actually using measurement sensors and instruments to measure automation and robotics to improve their effectiveness, their performance, their flexibility, etc. So a couple of years ago, we actually pivoted the company to create new sensor technologies for manufacturing. So in 2019, we raised an amount of money, equity-based funding, which really allowed us to focus our R&D and product development efforts on developing a new product. Specifically, that product was a system that can teach, monitor, and control industrial automation. So it's a network of sensors that can be built into a manufacturing production line or a robot automation cell and monitor how that robot is performing over time. And from this data, we can then use this to improve the performance of that automation, but also determine trends in how it's performing and use that trend data for predictive maintenance. So we can predict when a failure may occur, or that the system may drift and corrective actions need to take place. This solves a number of challenges today, but I think it's really interesting looking at the trend of where manufacturing is going, with concepts such as the digital twin becoming much more prevalent. So the concept of having the manufacturing environment simulated in the virtual world and that matching reality. And there's lots of challenges with actually achieving that today. And what our sensor system can do is it can make sure that the real world, your physical automated environment, matches your digital simulation. And that allows you to create a lot more adaptability of the system and flexibility of the system to make corrections in the digital world and bring them online fairly seamlessly. So the stage that we're at the moment, so the product that we've got is ready for commercial release. We're just going through the final iterations in development at the moment. We've got our first commercial sale in the pipeline, which should be completing this autumn. And then the formal launch of the product will be towards the end of Q1 next year. The plan thereafter really is to focus on the UK market initially, try and work with a relatively small number of customers through next year, but to try and do that in a very focused way so we can learn about how people are using the product and allow us to iterate it fairly quickly. And then beyond that, start to scale out to other markets beyond the UK. So Germany, North America, for example, are going to be very, very key markets as very heavy users of automated systems. In terms of our sort of overall direction of travel or end game, if there can be an end game for a company as such, we it is reasonably likely that we'd aim for a trade sale exit. There's been quite a lot of consolidation in the metrology market over the past few years, and that trend appears to be continuing. But as we become more established with a portfolio of products, it may be that we actually look to expand through acquisition of other technologies that complement our own, and that may well set us on a path for an IPO exit. But we'll see. We've got a long road ahead of us still to go. I think the final points I'd make is around the Bessemer Society. It's been very interesting to, I guess, come across a community that's very focused on hard tech. I think it was only fairly recently that I started to recognize the differences between starting and growing a hard tech business as opposed to some of the other software business models out there. And having a society that's very focused on that, very supportive around other companies that are going along that journey has been very relevant to us, and something I'm very pleased to be part of.